So with the new veterinary feed directive coming up, how does the medically important antibiotics compare to maybe the non-classified antibiotics?
Okay, so I think it's important to remember that everywhere in the world has a different classification of what is medically important and not classified. So I'm only going to talk about two lists. The one that has been published by the World Health Organization, which lists only 3 classes of antibiotics as being not medically important. And those include ionophores, bambamycins, and carbadox. Now, carbadox has recently been in the news because the FDA has put the industry on notice that it considers it potentially to be withdrawn because of risk of cancer. It's only used in pig production, so it doesn't apply to beef production. Bambamycins are not commonly used in the United States, but they are available. The product known as GainPro, also known as I can't even say it, glycophospholipol. And the third is ionophores. And ionophores have a number of different products, and they're used largely in ruminants as well as in poultry. The most common product in ruminants is monensin, and I think in poultry it's narasin, but it could also include monensin. In the United States, however, the Food and Drug Administration, through its Guidance for Industry 152 in 2003, has an appendix, and they have a slightly different classification, and I believe they also include, and I could be wrong, bacitracin and maybe the plurimutilins, in addition to the 3 that I mentioned. What I would like to make people aware of is that they're there because there's no human use of these products, and so they're not considered medically important. So far as we know, the use of them in food animals does not pose a risk to humans because it doesn't directly select for resistance. There's always the potential risk of co-selection, but despite many, many years of ionophore use, so far as we know, there are no resistance elements that have arisen, and there are no resistance elements that code for co-selection. Does that mean it could never happen? Well, I can't say that. I would be a fool to stand here and say that it can't happen. But so far as we know, ionophores pose no risk whatsoever to human health through either direct or indirect selection of resistance. The same applies for the bambamycins. Bacitracin is an interesting compound because it is present in some topical ointments, in fact, that you can buy over the counter for human use. But again, my understanding is that the use of the resistance has simply not risen the way we've seen with other antibiotics such as tetracyclines.